Hello everybody! Welcome back to Shadowlands, and it is now time for patch 9.1, The Chains of Domination. So, yeah, it's been a while since the last part, mainly because, well, there was nothing else really to do in terms of story. I'd basically done all that there was to do. If you want some context of what I found to do in the meantime, other than working on stuff on alts, I actually had this character go back to Legion and do the Balance of Power questline to unlock those extra weapon appearances. So, those are now available on my Death Knight. So, yeah. I should also give you guys a heads up that for those of you who perhaps are not familiar with what it is like when a new patch goes live in a game like World of Warcraft, you're usually going to encounter some technical issues. I've already been hearing about a disconnect issue that happens during an upcoming scenario that we're going to be doing. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting to see a cutscene that was shown at the recent BlizzCon event announcing this patch to let you know what's going on, because when you log in, in fact, I can bring this up to kind of give you guys an idea. This right here, this popped up. Chains of Domination. We're going to a new area, and there's updates to Torghast, and we're going to be going to do a scenario battle in place involving, of course, her. But this popped up when that happened. And then Bolvar was like, "Mawwalker, you must come to Oribos. Polmark Adrestes has news of what has happened in Bastion. While the Covenants labor to defend the Shadowlands, the jailer has not sat idle within Torghast. It seems he intends to set the next phase of his scheme into motion. Polmark Adrestes has brought us disturbing news from Elysian Hold. He will recount what he witnessed once you arrive. Make haste. I fear that time grows short." So, yeah. If you're curious what this is like from the perspective of someone who's part of the Kyrians, you can head on over to my playlist where I'm doing my Kyrian Paladins. So, fortunately, I have this. I can go straight to Oribos. And you can see also, nothing was added here for the Necrolords. However, I did notice there was something added, an extra chapter here added for my Venthyr. But you can see there's now the Chains of Domination campaign has been added. At a certain point, once we do this, we'll have unlocked flying. Oh, and by the way... Oh. Ignore that. By the way... more renown levels! Yay. Also, more rows for the soulbinds. So, don't worry, we'll go over those later. Also, I apologize in advance for that kind of weird frame rate lag issues I'm having. Don't know what the issue is. In the process of trying to figure that out and fix it.
By the light, Adrestes, this cannot be!
So, everybody's here, it looks like. Bane's here, Darian, Nadja, Draven, Moonberry, Nevix, Marilith, Adrestes, Kalia, Talia, Clea, Thrall, Jaina, and of course, Bolvar.
Do you need a task?
We were caught unaware. The jailer's power has grown more than any of us could have imagined. What happened in Elysian Hold?
Despite all our efforts, the Maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius' treachery is irreparable? The Primus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
None of this should have happened.
Perhaps the Winter Queen could...
My Archon. A living soul seeks an audience.
A mortal?
A king. By all our measures, one who has spent his life striving for justice. One who would give anything to serve his people. One whose heart is true.
Very well. He may approach. Step forward. My Ascended have spoken of you. The king, held captive in the Maw.
That prison could not hold me forever.
Why have you come to Bastion?
You have a key that I need.
You will release this soul from your grasp.
No. He is bound to me.
Just as you once sought to bind your own brother. Its part flawlessly. 3 keys remain. Then they will see. Death was never meant to be chained.
Whew. So yeah. Again, saying it's an awesome cutscene is kind of repetitious at this point, you know, because, duh, of course it was an awesome cutscene. This is the kind of quality they usually tend to put out. They've done this for years. But it still needs to be, you know, praised when, you know, when they do a good job. Otherwise, we kind of start to take it for granted. And I don't think we should do that. But, oh my goodness. I remember seeing that at BlizzCon, or watching the BlizzCon stream, since there was no real BlizzCon recently, you know, due to the pandemic. Hopefully things will get back to normal in that regard by the next one. Since things are starting to kind of seemingly get back to normal in that regard as more vaccines are passed out and such, but, you know, myself included, be getting my second dose for my vaccine soon. But anyways, oh, there's a lot to unpack from that cutscene, and others have done full-on like analysis of it and such since it came out, you know, during BlizzCon months ago. Like, for one thing, the moment I realized it was Anduin, I was like, hold on, something's up. I figured that like something was wrong right from the get-go. What I love also is as he passes Uther notices, and you can see he grasps the wound on his chest because he feels the same power from Anduin that he felt from Arthas long ago. And this whole... the way they did Anduin there, first off, the transformation from him in gold to his now, I guess, Death Knight look there, with the way that... you know, his armor changed, the way he looked changed, his hair and everything. It's so reminiscent of when Arthas became a Death Knight back in Warcraft 3. And then you also see, you know, we saw, of course, him using Charlemagne, now in its Death Knight blade form, kind of, you know, I guess Shalamorn, is that what we dubbed it, if I recall? But Seeing the power there, of course, not necessarily him acting on his own, because that's not the point. He's basically being used, as the jailer referred to him as, a vessel for him to use his power through him. So he can't go there himself, the jailer, but he can be able to, use power through other things, like Anduin as a vessel. We even saw for a brief moment there Anduin kind of break the control for a moment, but then quickly had control over him put back on him. And this has led me to wonder how much of this dynamic was used in regards to Arthas. How much, when he was a Death Knight, was he actually being controlled by the jailer? Since we now know that the Lich King was basically the jailer this whole time. So, by the way, ignore my guild chat. My guild is getting pretty active. It's launch day for a patch. Of course, everyone's going to be active. And of course, you'll see there's plenty of players here because we're all like, oh, hey, new patch, new content. Let's see, because we want to get to work. I don't know about you guys. I want to get to work on getting flying unlocked. I don't know if I can do it this week, but it's one of my first things I'm beelining for, to unlock flying in this expansion. At least in the 4 main zones we quest in. We'll see about the rest as the expansion continues. But, yeah, some people thought that he had actually killed the Archon. I was like, no, he didn't. He may have, stabbed her in the chest to get that sigil from her, but the Archon is supposed to be one of the more powerful beings in all the Shadowlands. I doubt that one stab alone would be enough to actually kill her, in the same way that if we were stabbed like that, yeah, we'd probably be dead. But the Archon is not like a mortal, not like us. So they work a little differently in that regard. So I'm pretty sure she's really hurt. I'm sure that's what we're about to go find out, is that she's really, really hurt. But she's not dead. I guarantee you she's not dead. But, yeah, we're going to find out more about that big land of, massive land that he was pulling to the maw with those big chains there. And he also hinted at that there are apparently three more keys he needs. One for each of the 4 heads of the 4 zones, which is interesting. He's got the one from the Archon, so seemingly he'll probably be going after the Winter Queen next. And then what about the other 2? This is what I've been wondering about. Because wouldn't he have had the other one from Sire? And if so, does that mean he's going to try and break him out? Is that sigil still with Sire, or is it with somebody else? Also in Maldraxxus, was it on the Primus? If the Rune Carver is in fact the Primus, wouldn't he have taken the sigil from him when he was imprisoned there? Unless it's actually not with the Primus, but somewhere else. Did the Primus perhaps hide it away somewhere, anticipating that something like this was going to happen? These were kind of some of the things that I was wondering about when I first saw this cutscene months ago. So anyways, let's continue, shall we?
We all have a duty to fulfill.
I like that I can actually ask him to re-show me those cutscenes in case we need a refresher.
We know the jailer is watching us, and that he has Anduin. Our only hope is for you and other heroes to make the Covenant strong, Nixuzad. The day will soon come that the jailer and Sylvanas reveal the next phase of their plan. When they do, it will require all our strength to overcome them. Anduin, now the jailer's pawn.
Remember, Bolvar used to take care of Anduin when he was a boy back in Vanilla. Remember, for those of you who don't remember, in Vanilla, Varian wasn't there. He was gone. The 3 people who were watching over Stormwind back in Vanilla were Bolvar, Anduin, as a little boy, which is why Bolvar was ruling over as regent, and Lady Prestor, aka Onyxia. So, Bolvar has known Anduin since he was a little boy, so he probably cares for him. So to see Anduin like this has got to be hard on Bolvar.
We must take immediate action. It is time for the Covenants to convene.
We shall convene in the Arbiter's chamber. Our next course of action must be decided. What news do you bring?
Though the jailer remains confined to the maw, his cruelty extends beyond the bounds of his prison. Thankfully, the Archon is recovering from the attack, though I am told her wound has an unsettling quality. The Eternal Ones and their allies await you and High Lord Fordragon. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the player chatting there. And await you in the Arbiter's chamber. I shall open the way. With her voice have I spoken.
All will be judged fairly.
Alright, so there's the Arbiter still asleep. There's the Winter Queen. There's Draka. There's Prince Renathal. And there's the Archon. As I said, she looks like she is hurt badly. She does not look good.
I will aid you as best I can.
He stares in wonder at the sight before him. He peers at the grand figures before him, at the numberless gateways stretching out into the ether. Oh yeah, all those.
This chamber is truly wondrous. Yet there is no time to be awestruck. The honored voice must begin this meeting at once. The chains of the past still bind us.
Come forth and be judged.
I am ready to begin this meeting.
And in the Arbiter's name, we answer the call of the Eternal Ones.
This brazen attack on Bastion must be answered. Has your wound healed, Carestia?
No. But that is of little consequence compared to what was stolen.
What was the jailer after?
Long ago, each of the Eternal Ones was given a symbol of our Covenant's purpose. Yet Zoval saw these sigils as keys to forbidden knowledge.
When we rebuked his heresy, he tried to claim them by force.
But in the end, the Primus led us to victory.
And for his treachery, Zoval was exiled forevermore.
Yet even bound to the maw, he found allies to aid his cause. No doubt Sire Denathrius willingly offered his sigil to the Banished One.
We have found no such sigil within the sanctum of the Primus.
The essence of the Arbiter remains here. It must be protected.
The Ebon Blade will help defend the Eternal City. But this will not be the jailer's only target.
No. Even now, his malevolence encroaches upon my groves.
The Necrolords will drive these invaders from Ardenweald.
The Venthyr will fight beside your armies, Draka.
We will rally the Covenant's forces and make our stand.
Let it be so. With her voice have I spoken.
So, that clarified something for me. I was confused about when the jailer said 3 keys remain. What they just clarified for me is that Denathrius already gave his vigil to, his sigil to the jailer. I didn't know the Arbiter also has a sigil. So there's actually 5 keys, not 4. So that's been made clear now. So he has the one from Bastion, and he has the one from Revendreth. Denathrius already gave it to him. So he's now going to be going after the Winter Queen, the one that should belong to Maldraxxus, though we have no idea where it is, unless the Primus had something planned and already kind of set something up for that. That's my anticipation, because otherwise he's got him trapped as the Rune Carver, so shouldn't he have taken it from him? And then there's one that's supposedly here, which means they're probably also going to try to attack Oribos at some point to take it from the Arbiter. Interesting.
Speak, mortal.
Alright. But I like how we were like, yeah, we're going to unite and convene and work together in order to defend Ardenweald.
You're a special one, aren't you?
Hey, Moonberry. The Winter Queen must be the jailer's next target. We must do all that we can to protect her. And I have a few ideas how we can do that. With the betrayal of Sire Denathrius and the absence of the Primus of Maldraxxus, we must assume that the Winter Queen is the jailer's next target. And we won't let anyone take her sigil. Ardenweald has endured much, but it is a realm of great mysterious power. Things are not always what they seem. We'll use this to our advantage, no matter who comes for the Queen. Huh. So we can get a 187 weapon from this.
Such witty repartee.
Both Ardenweald and Oribos could come under assault. Darien, the Ebon Blade must protect the city.
We will see it done.
Bane and I will aid them. We won't let the jailer claim the Arbiter's sigil.
Yeah, Thrall.
I'm going to Ardenweald with you, Bolvar. If there is even a chance to save Anduin.
I understand, Jaina. We depart at once.
This will be interesting. For those of you who are curious, I've gotten up to 215 at this point. Mainly playing Unholy. As I said before earlier in this playthrough, when it was clear that Unholy was just outright better, I decided that I would just keep on playing Unholy until they either nerfed it and made it where the other specs were better or stronger, whatever. By the way, they're still walking over here. Bolvar and Jaina, I was curious. I did take a little peek into this patch when it was on the PTR, so I actually saw this, and I was kind of impressed that they actually had them walk all the way over here to this. I also love that we're seeing all these forces from the different covenants. Venthyr, Maldraxxi, Kyrian. All the forces from the four covenants are heading here so we can all head to Ardenweald to fight together side by side against the Jailer's forces to protect the Winter Queen and her sigil. There's just something awesome about that. This is the kind of, like, uniting of our forces to fight together for a common cause against a common foe that I've been wanting amongst the Alliance and Horde for a long time. It's like, come on! Can we please have our factions learn a lesson from this? If there does end up being some sort of disconnect issue here, I apologize. I'll try and work around it, so to speak. But yeah, I have been hearing that people have been getting disconnected while trying to do this event. So, sorry.